Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be installing LED strip lighting. This is a real simple kit that you can find online. I will include links. It can be found directly on their website. You can find this on Home Depot, Lowe's online, and Amazon. So this really makes it accessible. Anybody that wants to have accent lighting, that you don't want to hire an electrician, this is a kit for you. You could plug it straight in like this kit, or it does have the option that you can hardwire it. It has a remote control that comes with it. I'll show you that. You do have the option of controlling the white light. It can be like a warm lighting or a cool white. You can turn it up, you can turn it down. The remote does work on a radio frequency, which means you can be in a different room when you turn it on. It says in the booklet 50 feet. So depending on the layout of your house, that's something, you know, like I could be in my bedroom and turn it on in here. So you do have that option with the remote. It is very easy to install, and the cabinets that I picked, it's a nice straight shot. If you needed to, you can cut the strip, which this is 16 feet. I'm not going to need that length, but you can cut it. If you do need to cut it, you would cut it right here on this copper strip. If you were going to change these to hard wiring, you would cut it on this silver strip. So when you open your kit, you're going to have your LED strip right here with the power source. You will have connectors in a little baggie, and then also clips to help you mount it underneath your cabinets. You'll have your instruction manual, and then you're also going to have your remote control. So when you get that, you'll need to pull this part here out so that the battery makes a connection. So some important things that the manual points out, being that these are LED lights, they do throw off a little bit of heat. And so when you first take this out of the package and it's still on this coil, the manual makes a point to tell you not to plug it in, that while this is coiled up, it could overheat. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to listen and take their word for it. So right away, I chose these cabinets here in my laundry room because I thought it would be really good. Not only will it really look nice in real life, but I thought for video purposes, this was probably the easiest place to film. It's going to be a nice straight shot. Now I do have some corners here that are going to curve. The manual is very clear about being careful when you do have to make a curve. They do want you to use the connections, but it said that you can make a very slight bend, just not crease it because it will destroy and damage the internal components. But I'm going to attempt to run at the straight shot. You want to be mindful to pick a place that has a power source. You don't want to end up where, okay, hey, looks great, and then you realize you did not end in a place where you could easily plug it in. So I'm going to use this outlet right here. They do give you a generous amount of extra cord, so I don't need an extension cord or anything. What I'm going to do first is kind of lay this out, kind of figure it out in my head first, lay it out, cut it with some extra length on it, then tape it up with painter's tape before I start tearing off the adhesive that's already on it. And so that part is going to be next. So as I'm mapping everything out, I'm not quite sure. I mean, I usually do keep things on the counter, but I don't know that I necessarily want all of this showing. So if that's the case, when I get to the end, what I might do, there are two little holes right here on either side where I could, in theory, mount that somehow underneath the cabinet so that that isn't entirely showing. But what I'm going to do right now is plug this in to make sure it works, because that would be a real bummer to get to the end and realize it was defective. So let me make sure it works. And it does. Very pretty. But per the directions, I'm going to unplug it while I'm installing because I don't want that to overheat. So I'm just going to basically lay everything out. When you go around a bend, you're supposed to cut the strip, insert the connectors. I'm going to try it without though, because this is a very visible place and I don't really want to have those wires showing. So I'm going to make sure I give it a little extra slack so that I don't have a definite angle like that. I want to have a nice curve. I don't want to damage the inner workings of this. So So I'm just gonna kind of figure for that. And actually, I think I'm gonna start taping this up so that it doesn't move on me. So when I actually do go to put this adhesive and put this on here for real, I'm gonna be very careful when I do make these bends to not have it bend on the LED lights or any of the components, to make it bend where there's just plain tape. All right, so I'm gonna need to at least here. I'm gonna give myself some extra room to work with. I'm gonna go, actually, there's a couple, like here's a copper cut off, here's a copper cut off. I'm gonna go way beyond that. And it even shows you like a little perforated area. So you cut right in the middle of that copper. I think what I'm gonna do also, I think I'm gonna start in the middle because I am concerned about making those corners. I'm gonna start in the middle and then work my way to the right and to the left. And I think I'm gonna cut off sections of that tape at a time rather than peeling the whole darn thing off and have something get tripped up on each other. So I need to make a decision here where I want this to run. Well, let me light it up here. I think I'm gonna have it run along the very back of this. So let me unplug that. All right, so to install this, I'm going to start cutting off this tape about here. And I'm going to work with little sections. I don't want to have too much sticky stuff going on. And I did decide after much hem-hawing around, I think I want this lighting to be on the back portion. So I just want to make sure I have a little extra. Okay, see, I'm making a bend. I don't want it to be where there's any of the connectors. Hi, honey. You want to help? All right, so I'm just going to peel this and continue. And you just kind of work in small sections all the way down. And I left myself extra, so I think in theory that would have been the perfect place to stop it, but my copper places are where I have to cut, so I either have the option of here and this one here, and so I think I'm going to choose the longer one. If I change my mind, I can go back and cut it here. So I'm going to cut it right smack in the middle of that one. So you trim it right there. Pull the rest of that off and kind of loop it like that. See, I have made these corners, but I've not made a bend where there's something important, where there's these lights, and it's just a real easy curve. So hopefully I didn't damage anything. Now, for the other side, look, I have a helper here. Excuse me, miss. Excuse me. Okay, so that really wasn't very difficult at all. Here's a moment of truth. Let's see what it looks like. Looks pretty nice. What do you think, Kiki? What do you think? I got Miss Nosy here checking out the whole. What do you think? Did I do a good job? You like it? think she likes it. Okay, so what I want to do, since I don't want all of this showing, I'm going to get, I'm probably going to mount it right there. No, probably going to mount it over here. I'm going to hide this, and I'm going to hide it close to the front because I feel like if I put it in the back, it might show. In the baggie with the connector, there are little clips that have adhesive. So I'm going to take care of, there's a lot of this cord hanging down that I don't really like. Overall, I'm really happy with the results. As you can see, it has a very professional look with all, I mean, this installation really was pretty simple. You just have to plan ahead, make sure everything's clean. If you do start to veer off, like that back portion, I started to come out a little bit away from the wall. You do have the option, you can kind of gently pull it back off and re-stick it, and it seemed to keep the adhesive. I wouldn't do that too many times, but it isn't like you did it one time and now your adhesive's wrecked. So what I do like about the controls, you can make it cold white like it is right now, or warm. And then you have the options of the brightness too. You can dial it up, dial it down, or it has presets, like this is 100%, there's 50, and then 10%. And then within each setting also, it has different functions that you can kind of play around with. So if you want to buy this product, like I said, it's available on Amazon, Home Depot, Lowe's online, or the Armacost website. My coupon code works only there, and it's Klein10. That saves you 10% off and free shipping through February 28th. It's just a really neat option. It's inexpensive, it's easy. There are other functions that I'm not going to go over. I'm not going to hardwire it, so you'll have to check out someone else's video for that. But if you could, please like this video, subscribe to me, please, and leave me any questions. If there's something I forgot to cover, which I'm sure I did, please reach out to me. If I don't know the answer, I do have direct access to someone that works with the company. So I will ask them, and then I'll get back to your questions as soon as possible. So as always, I thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this useful, and I will see you next time. Take care.